Joining me now is the retired U.S. Army Major John Spencer. He's also the chair of Urban Warfare Studies at the Madison Policy Forum and the author of the upcoming book, Connected Soldiers. Major, thanks for being with us. Tell me what you make of what you saw yesterday. It was kind of remarkable. It wasn't just that there were missile strikes on Lviv, which is a place that is thought of as a bit of a safe haven right now in western Ukraine, but it was interesting timing. It was just as most of the world's cameras were here in Warsaw watching President Biden meeting with leaders, going to see refugees and their helpers, and then making a major speech that was sort of outlining his view of how this war should be prosecuted.
Yeah, that's right, Ali. I think it was a sign to Ukrainians and to the world that Russia is going to continually, indiscriminately attack civilian areas. I mean, those two targets had very little military value to them. I think they're scared. They're scared of urban warfare, and they're really scared that they're losing on basically every front.
Let me ask you about urban warfare and the rules of war. There are obviously things that are war crimes, and there are obviously things that are military objectives. And in a perfect world, those would be binary, and that everybody holding a gun or firing a missile or flying a jet would know what those are. Now we're into this middle space, right? It's a fuel depot and it's a manufacturing plant. We don't know what they were manufacturing. What are the rules on things like that, about what you can and can't take out before it starts looking like war crimes?
Yeah, I mean, well, one, we already know he's committed war crimes in Mariupol and plenty of other locations. I mean, the line of distinction on what classifies as a military target and what doesn't is pretty clear. You're right, warfare in urban areas, in dense populated urban areas where the targets, even if they're being used for military purposes and they're full of civilians, then you can't fire at them. So the lines are pretty clear, and I think Russia knows those lines, and that's why he's always operating in the gray on, oh, that was being used for military purposes, like a theater full of women and children. No, that's a war crime. So these two targets, again, they had no military value of significance. I think they were really just done to show that he could safely hit anything he wants from the safety of Russia, because he's scared to actually fight in those areas. I mean, the supplies coming out of the west of Ukraine are critically important to Ukraine's ability to continue to defeat Russia.
I want to ask you about some reporting from the BBC in which it says Ukraine's defense ministry says another Russian general was killed in a strike near the southern city of Kherson. A Western official says he was the 7th general to die in Ukraine. Now, again, we don't have that information. The Russians don't give us those confirmations about any of their senior leadership who may have been killed in the fighting. If true, though, that's very unusual for modern warfare. That doesn't tend to happen.
No, absolutely not. I mean, you don't have generals, any good military doesn't have generals that far forward to the actual front line. It just doesn't make sense. So clearly they don't trust their lower leaders. They don't have what we call the non-commissioned officer. The backbone of our army is young leaders who can take initiative and make things happen. And they're pushing generals that far forward and getting them killed. That's a huge sign that the Russian military is falling apart in front of our eyes. And even if all of those generals isn't true, clearly some generals have been killed, and that's a huge sign that they're desperate at this point.
You and I have been talking about this war since it began, and there were all sorts of estimates about 48 hours or 72 hours or 96 hours before Russia largely has control over things. It was the only piece of intelligence that didn't turn out to be good. But you, in a tweet, cite a reason for that, quoting Napoleon, where you say the moral is to the physical as 3 is to 1. When you look at the difference between these armies, the Ukrainian army and the Russian army, there's obviously no Russian civilians who are volunteering to fight in this battle, in the major battles in Ukraine. It is kind of It is kind of remarkable that this moral imperative that has motivated Ukrainians is holding the Russians back.
Yeah, it's imperative, but it's no surprise to anybody who's ever been in the military for a little time. In my experiences in 2 combat tours in Iraq, that is your power. It isn't your military weapons or your size of your military. A demoralized military will just be destroyed on the battlefield. The Ukrainians are showing that they have the will to fight, and in history, a motivated soldier in a motivated group of soldiers can achieve great feats. And that's what we're seeing. It's no surprise to me now. I mean, you have Russians being hunted down now by motivated Ukrainian fighters. I mean, it is amazing, but it's what we've known for centuries. The morale of your soldiers, the will to fight is everything.
Yeah, it is something to watch. Major, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Retired U.S. Army Major John Spencer is the chair of urban warfare studies at the Madison Policy Forum and the author of Connected Soldiers.